having done a lot of audits and going through playbooks, what are some common maybe myths that you've been able to debunk? Maybe you had a hunch that something would work performance-wise, but actually something else worked. What have you seen?
So the first myth that I'd like to debunk is we have to ask more questions in our bot flow. Like we need to capture absolutely as much information before we send it over to sales. There's a sweet spot usually. The truth is everyone is just getting more impatient. It's what it is. Apple and Amazon and Facebook are training us, and Instagram, for that instant gratification. And so when people have to sit through 5-10 questions in a bot, they're just like, screw this. So to combat that and become more relevant, we recommend our clients do the following. First, use third-party data to get the right playbooks. Data to get the right playbooks in front of the right people. So, for example, does someone already exist in my marketing database, right? If you're using Marketo and Drift, you have like a massive advantage because you can build smart lists of people that have already identified themselves. Right then and there, you can avoid from needing, you can basically cut out the need to ask their email or the first name or their last name, et cetera. So that's what we mean by using like first-party data. And then, you could ask yourself, is someone from this a key account, right? Like, are we making a massive push into these one-to-one few named accounts or like these verticals? Well, if that person is from a named account, like don't make them jump through hoops. You want to roll out the red carpet, so to speak, for them. So essentially get out of their way. So I guess first and foremost, the biggest myth is just that we need to ask a lot of questions. We recommend approaching it in a very balanced way.
Yeah, I think that's very important. And I think the point that you brought up with in our consumer world, we're very used to instant gratification. That has to transfer to B2B. And we see that in so many ways. We see that in the sales process, right? That we need personalization and we need trusted advisors. As B2B, people who are trying to create an experience for buyers, we really should be mimicking everything good that's coming in. So asking more questions, that's a get for us, right? If we're just asking. And we always recommend give rather than get.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to maybe circle back on striking a balance, if I may, there inevitably are going to be the people that come through the homepage bot asking to talk to sales like right away, and we don't know a thing about them. So there we definitely want to make sure that we're qualifying people to not piss off sales. Yeah. But really just periodically getting together with marketing and sales, sales high performers and marketing leaders and saying like, what are the critical pieces of information that we need before we kind of route these people over to sales. But I want to mention a couple of bonuses.
Please.
In terms of like the myths, right? So we're still talking about like asking a lot of questions and striking the balance. But I think bonus number one that I would encourage people to walk away with is like make sure sales is bought in rather on live chat. In theory and in practice, when sales gets good at identifying which bots and conversations to intervene in, they can cut the speed to lead to opportunity ratio like massively, right? This avoids the back and forth of the email conversations and like when are you free, et cetera, et cetera. So, making sales bought into live chat is like one of the first things that we recommend. But bonus number two is if your selling model is relatively self-service, and people at Drift may not like me saying this, but you can maybe get away with not having sales bought in completely and having Drift initially be a passive tool to show success with like passive calendaring, et cetera, et cetera. So let's say that you just can't strike a balance between the questions that sales is wants in the qualifying flow. Maybe just take Drift as a more passive way to kind of ease them into the tool and show them value.